first speaker tonight. I knew the theme was you come first. I was like, let's get a little naughty for post-Valentine's Day. And I was like, I know a shit ton of people. I know a lot of effing people in this world. So I'm like, I don't know anyone who can talk about sex. So I go onto Facebook and I say, I need a sexpert. Does anyone know a sexpert? And people from Iowa were like, my daughter is a guidance counselor in high school. And I'm getting all the, I do all this fun stuff on Facebook. This one question garnered more answers than anything I've ever done. Unfortunately, everyone was either a guidance counselor in high school or you know, they just talked about sex. So 2 people write me private direct messages. One of them, Robin, who's here tonight, and I go, I have the person. Stop asking the question. I'd like to invite that person up onto the stage right now. She is a pleasure specialist. You know, we should have done some sort of raffle or something like that. Maybe we should raffle off the pleasure specialist services tonight. She's So I'm going to bring her up here tonight because she's going to teach you how to come first, or she's going to teach you how you come first. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Domina Franco.
Let's do this shit. I'm excited. Okay. Hi, everybody. I can't fucking see half of you, but it's wonderful. My name is Domina Franco. And I do talk about sex a lot. It's a fantastic subject, and it's kind of funny because everybody wants to talk about it, and then tons of people don't talk about it. So I've been studying, oh, that's a little feedback. I've been studying sex for about 20 years now. And I've been a sex coach and writer for about 6. And I work with a lot of different people, and I've heard almost everything. I also happen to be a former semi-pro wrestler, and it's true. And so I've also taught wrestling for domination at La Domaine SMR, which is the oldest BDSM training facility in the US. If you couldn't tell, I'm kind of a badass. And I got a lot to talk to you about today. So, fucking Valentine's Day. Okay. Personally, I'm glad it's over. So, February 14th, this, relatively arbitrary day in February, we've all decided we're going to make it super loaded and make it all about the fact that if we're not partnered, there's like something wrong with us, right? And there really isn't. So, yeah, all alone in this world, it's cool, no worries, it's fine, really, I'm going to be okay. So here, I didn't even talk about this. Okay, let's talk about being single in America. And also, I'm gonna move around. I'm not a like stationary kind of fucking person. I can't stand in one place. So single. Okay, I don't know who is single in this room. Okay, there's some of you. Hi, me too. So single in America, there are 96 million people in the US who have no spouse. Let's admit that's a lot of people. That means 43% of Americans over the age of 18 are single. And singles defined as adults who have never been married or are divorced or widowed. And of the singletons, 61% of them have never said I do, and 4% are divorced, and 15% are widowed. Now, this is considering people who are single. It doesn't consider people who are in relationships where they want to die. And there are some of those people. Where they just feel a crushing, suffocating need to escape. There's some of those people too. And they're not in the statistics here. So, all alone in this world. Okay. so what? So what if right at this moment in the cosmos, okay, as the planet is turning, something I like to throw out because I'm also a science geek, my research is on sex work, kink, and also gender dynamics. And so I also get like super crazy about like chromosomes and genetics. But another thing that I just like love, because I have a crush on Stephen Hawking, is dark matter. So let's consider the fact that 4% of the matter that's in the world, that's like every molecule in this black painted room, and every molecule in New York, and every molecule in America, and every molecule on the planet, and all the stars, and the fact that the galaxy and the universe is constantly expanding, that's 4%. Because the other 96% is this stuff called dark matter, which even my boyfriend, Stephen Hawking, doesn't know what it is. So I welcome you to think about the fact that there's a lot of mystery in the world, and you don't really know what's going to happen because there's like 96% of who the fuck knows what it is happening out in the world. So, right, what if we're single? Is it the worst thing in the world? And what is the probability of being alone forever? I'm not a statistician, so I don't actually have stats on that, but I would say you're probably not going to be alone for the rest of your life. And just because I'm like a Debbie Downer bubble burster, also, if you're in a relationship, it's highly likely you might not be in that one forever either. You thought this was going to be uplifting. So, it will, I promise. Here's where we get uplifting, okay? This is not my idea, but I did draw this squiggly little thing. Okay, so let's talk about people. People are so intriguing. We have so many layers to us. And this little diagram shows like two people interacting in the world. Let's not even consider that they want to bone each other. Let's just like consider that they're just like two people on the subway. Okay. So this little outer ring here, that is how someone else looks at you and tries to read you and tries to determine who you are. Okay, we see the dude bro on the subway with the blue shirt and the briefcase. We're like, okay, he's going to Wall Street and he probably drinks gin and tonics and is an asshole. And I mean, it's maybe a good assessment. We don't know. And then say, you know, this other person you see, gorgeous blonde woman, you just think like probably she's a model and like everything is fine in her life and she lives in a loft in Soho. That's usually what I think. So this is what's happening every day. We're like making these assumptions about people based on like these 2-second decisions that we make on them. And we also like build stories from what we see about people. And then inside this little dotted line, that is what we think about ourselves that we project out into the world. This is like the, no, I'm cool. And I'm super sexy and tall, and which these things are true. But also like maybe I think because I'm a sexologist, I'm like awesome and edgy and blah, blah, blah. The truth is I'm not really that cool. Like I love to wear sweatpants. And I also love like Victorian like period dramas. So really not cool. Then the solid line, that's just like your physical being. That's your body. And honestly, I'd like to just put a little side note, that doesn't matter. So like your physical body, people will make judgments on it. You might make judgments on yourself. We kind of all do, because advertising is pure evil. But your body is just your body. And by the way, you don't need to have a perfect body to have fucking amazing sex, which is a really great thing. Then inside, this little thing that looks like an egg, looks like a little ovum for my sexology here. So that little squiggly thing, that's like the stuff inside us that we certainly don't want to project. That's all the stuff we think like we're a piece of shit about, right? Or we want to hide that stuff. Like, I love gangbang porn. Can I tell anybody that? This is true. So, or like I stole money from my grandmother when I was a heroin addict. Not true, but could be somebody's experience. Now, the thing in the middle, this lovely little solid thing right in the middle of your chest, okay, that is actually who you are. That is the thing of who you are. None of this other garbage is you. That's all stuff you made up or other people made up, or it's all the nasty tapes that are in your head. This is actually you. And all of you are awesome. By the way. Yeah, it's really easy. So you're like, now I'm awesome, and let's go have sex. So internal to external, the give before you get model. Okay, this is my jam. First of all, this is not about giving to other people. The whole theme of this show is that you come first. And we could easily have spelled that C-U-M. But we decided not to be cheesy, right? So the give before you get model, starting with you. Here's where I'm going to go all Dr. Jocelyn Elders and start talking about masturbation. But there's a lot of deeper things about that. Personally, we could look in this room, and like I said, statistics are pretty amazing and relatively accurate. There are probably numbers and numbers of sexual assault victims in this room. I am a 2-time sexual assault survivor. And the first time it happened, I was 19. And I thought I was just going to make out with this guy because I was actually a virgin. And ended up making out with him. Told him it was okay to be in my room. And then he took over. And he essentially tried to suffocate me for 4 hours while, threatening to rape me like over and over again. It was the best time. So I have to be dark about it because, it's my sense of humor. And it's like the only way I survive with it. So, but as you can imagine, that shut me down a lot as a younger person. And later on in my life, in my 30s, another assault happened. In my 30s, I decided that I was sick of performing sex. There's a lot of people who have sex very performatively. And like we try to be a sex kitten or we try to be a sex god. And, there's like, the term notches on the bedpost is a term for a reason, It's a phrase for a reason because it feeds our ego and makes us feel like that layer that goes to the outside world and the layer we believe about ourselves that we try to project, it helps us feel good about ourselves. But the truth is that you don't get much out of sex when it's performative. You really don't. And you tend to be less performative with sex when you know yourself and when you delve into what's actually pleasurable for you. And so in this instance, for me, I discovered porn. I had never watched it before. Didn't realize you could get it for free on the internet. Totally went to those seedy little store. I lived in Boston at the time. I lived in Chinatown, and right there's tons of those. People know. Hey. So, I love porn. So, went to one of those little CD stores. Of course, it was super creepy. And picked up 2 DVDs and pretty much essentially like burnt holes in them until my friend was like, you know, you can get it online for free. And that like opened up my world. So I discovered that there was like a lot of things out there that I didn't know about, even though I had been studying sexuality for like a number of years by this point. So I had always masturbated just to my own thoughts. And now all of a sudden there was like stuff to look at. It was amazing. And that's how I actually got in touch with myself enough to know what pleased me, know what felt good to me, so I could have relationships with partners again. Because for a long time I couldn't. And for some other folks, my big message to you is you become a better lover when you're an awesome lover to yourself. And masturbation, a lot of people just like think of it as like a side thing, right? It's not a side thing. Masturbation is fucking yourself. And it's really a key aspect to human sexuality. And a lot of people like to just think of it as like this thing we do to ourselves, right? But how are you supposed to help your partner understand how to make you come, how to make you feel good, if you don't really know yourself? This is not like rocket science. But when you know that, it's easy for you to, no, it isn't. Let's back it up. Erase. It's not easy for anybody, mostly, to talk about sex, except for me, because I talk about it all the time. And other lovely sexologists that I know and collaborate with. It's difficult sometimes to convey your needs and to convey what you want and what works for you and what doesn't work for you. I would like to have like a collective groan of like people who have had sex and just not said, oh my God, that's the worst, I hate it. Groan, please. Yeah, so we've all been there. Like the jabby jab. By the way, so I love porn, okay? I'm winging this. Not really, I'm so good at this. So, the jabby jab. It's the worst. And that's one of many terrible things about porn. So, there's a lot of really great feminist porn out there. I suggest you check it out. There's some terrible mainstream porn, and people are learning from that. And they're learning the jabby jab, like at the fast pace, which, by the way, I don't know any women or trans men who enjoy that. So starting internally, of course, and being in touch with yourself makes you a better lover to yourself, but it also makes you a better lover to anyone that you have a roll in the hay with. So when you're giving to yourself, it's just putting money in the bank. Like for being even better in the sack or the shower or anywhere you want to go, except outdoors, like in the street, because you'll get arrested. I don't know personal experience, but I'm pretty sure that's true. So start with yourself. And also, let's not think about orgasm as like the final thing. Pleasure is pleasure. Pursue pleasure. It doesn't have to end in an orgasm. In fact, putting up so much stress on the orgasm can fuck your shit up and stop you from ever having an orgasm. Also, masturbate in a million different types of ways, because actually, here's some wonderful facts. The more you orgasm, the more your body is likely to orgasm. And, which is so fantastic, and when you masturbate and orgasm in different ways, and you just don't like dig one neural pathway, like this is how it happens, when you masturbate and come in many different ways, that also makes it easier when you're with different partners who do different things to you. So that's what I have to say to you. Go forth, masturbate, have fun with everybody that you consensually can have fun with. Start with yourself.
Some good girls looking back at it, and a good girl in my tax bracket. Got a black card and a sex habit, you should know.